Use the Force, Luke. Live long and prosper.
I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Shut up and take my money.
By Grabthar's hammer. What a saving.
One does not simply walk into Mordor.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Winter is coming. You're a wizard, Harry. Stay a while and listen.
Hey ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Your ties are cool.
So say we all.
This is a Play on Nerds. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 55 of A Play on Nerds. As always, I'm Steve.
And I'm Jarmon.
And we are so excited to have you back. So before we really kick off the show, I just want to take a quick moment to give a birthday shout out to my co-host, Jarmon, who today is his birthday.
Absolutely.
And how old are you today, Jarmon?
30 years old.
Ooh, ha.
I am now a man.
Yeah, welcome.
You'll be there soon too, right?
I know, so soon, July. I've got a little bit longer to be in my 20s. I'm going to live up every moment of it.
Well, I didn't, so you should.
Yeah. So you went out for your birthday tonight. Where'd you go?
Well, I went out last night and saw Deadpool. Ooh, so that was cool.
Good. And, how was it?
It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
I was a little disappointed because it seemed like literally the whole movie was already shown in the trailers.
Okay, so all the good parts were already shown?
There were still other good parts, but just not much. It felt like I saw the whole movie already. I was like, wow, I've seen all of these scenes already. So
well, the one review that the trailer got is that, and I think maybe you said this, was like they want you to know exactly what kind of story it's going to be.
Yeah, I guess.
And in that way, they let you know exactly what the story was going to be.
It's like there was just so few scenes left that weren't shown in the trailers and promos and all that stuff came out. I was like, wow, there really wasn't much left. But I think it leaves a lot of room for a next one. That'll be a lot of fun.
Right, and there certainly will be a next one now.
Yeah, exactly. And lots of other R-rated movies are now spawning because of this. So that's pretty cool.
Good.
But you should check out our website where we do have a full review of Deadpool by one of our new bloggers, Garrett Yoshitomi. So it's a very well-written review. He's maybe liked it a little bit more than I did, but he did point out some of the faults of the movie. So you should definitely check that out. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Good.
So you going to see it sometime soon?
Maybe. We'll see.
Cool.
And it works weekend, so it's hard for us to line up a day to go see a movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point where you never see anything without the other person, so you never end up seeing anything at all.
That's true. That's sad.
Welcome
like
TV
to
shows, too.
No, Ann and I do make a very concerted effort to call out shows that we want to watch together.
And other ones are like, I don't care, you can watch that on your own.
Or we'll watch the first episode together and I'll go, that's one you can watch when I'm not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what marriage is.
But Steven, don't you have an announcement as well?
Yeah, yes, I have an announcement as well.
Is that right?
So, I feel like the last 4 times we've done our weekly updates, I've been like, nothing's going on.
Yeah.
Life is boring right now. I don't have anything to talk about. And the truth is, I had too much to talk about and I couldn't friggin' say anything. Some people know this, for our viewers don't. My wife, Anna, is pregnant.
Woo!
And I'm going to be a dad, and that's real exciting. So a lot has been going on, but I could not share that with this community yet. So every week I've been like, no, nothing's happening. Boring.
To be fair, I didn't know yet either, but nobody knew. So you're keeping it on the down low for a while.
That's true. That's true. Little bummer though. We went and got our estimated due date, September 11th.
Oh, goodness.
God, son of a bitch.
It rarely ever will be the exact day. I mean,
I know, but man, come on, please. Just not that.
Hey, that's my mom's birthday is September 11th as well.
So is my cousin's. My cousin Tessa.
I've met Tessa. Nice girl.
Yeah, you have. But yeah, so we're going to have a kid, and that's pretty cool. We went and got the sonogram done, and we saw it, and we saw a heartbeat, and we saw it did a little dance. It wiggled while it was on sonogram.
I don't suppose you know if it's a boy or a girl yet. So
we went back just this past week at 10 weeks, and we got DNA, blood drawn for DNA tests to do DNA screenings. So they'll come back in 2 weeks, let us know if we have any real major worries when it comes to genetic diseases. And then they also say it's 99% accurate for the sex.
Oh, so you'll find that out when it comes back.
In theory, at 12 weeks, we will know the sex of the baby.
That's pretty cool.
But we've already discussed it, and we're thinking about holding back the sex from everybody else.
How come?
And so the reason is that we've known a lot of couples, especially recently, who have had kids and announced the sex, and they get a bunch of cute pink shit. They get a bunch of cute pink dresses, and they don't get stuff they need. Or they get a boy, and they get a bunch of like little miniature sports balls and little miniature team gear, but not like onesies they need. So
yeah.
So our thought is we hold it back, and then we'll just ask for utilitarian things. And then,
so it's all about the gifts.
Well, it's mostly about we were only going to get this, kids going to get gifts for the rest of their life, obviously. But this is like the one big influx you get.
That's
so we
true.
really want to make it count and not just be, cute outfits they can only wear once.
And plus those gender, normative things like pink and blue and sports and princesses, like it doesn't have to be one or the other.
Yeah, I think we're going to go with green and yellow, I think is what we've settled on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why not?
So another quick shout out, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And this was told to me by my father. My mother, Patricia, just had a major, like the definition of a major spinal surgery.
Oh, goodness. I didn't know that.
She had a pretty major one back in Seattle when we first moved there. And she had some rods put in for fusing. And she has severe scoliosis. That was corrected by a brace in her youth, and she's had a couple surgeries. And this one, they put in a bunch of new hardware and infused just a giant chunk of her spine.
Goodness.
It's absolutely crazy. She's the bionic woman.
She's Iron Mom.
She's got 2 bionic knees and now a whole skeleton back piece. So she's almost there. And Dad said, just do a shout out to your mom, because really, she does listen every week.
Oh.
And so my mom, who will be in recovery when she hears this, whenever this comes out, this is for you. Please rest and relax and recover. Please.
We love you, Patricia.
Please, Mom, just lay back.
Relax. Don't jump up in excitement from the shout out.
That's true. That's true. So let's talk. So this birthday is, you went and saw Deadpool. What are some of your favorite birthdays that you had?
I mean, you got to go back to the childhood,
Yeah.
I mean, as a kid, birthdays are so exciting. I hope for most of our listening audience that you were fortunate enough to have parents or grandparents or aunts, uncles who were able to take you out and have a good birthday. Because I know a lot of us aren't as fortunate and we weren't able to have, birthday celebrations all the time. But luckily, my parents, even when we weren't doing very well financially, they splurged a little bit on our birthdays, my sister and I, to give us a good time. So, I mean, I would go out to places. Oh, there's one place, I can't even remember the name of it, but it was an arcade. And it also had a phone booth that had a fan in the bottom, and that would it would blow up fake money, and you had to grab as much as you could in 1 minute.
Man.
And then turn it in as like tickets to make it like little stupid prizes that are worth nothing.
That sounds awesome.
But it was a lot of fun as a kid,
Right. That's the thrill of your birthday right there.
And just planning out a birthday. I did it with you several times when we were growing up. We'd make a list of people, we wanted to invite. And
figure out what the hell we were doing. And
yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I don't know. I did Hooters for my 14th birthday, which was just awkward.
That was awesome. I think we've talked about it before. It was great. It was just great.
Very strange, and didn't know what to say around the waitresses wearing tight clothing.
Yeah, nobody does at that age.
Yeah, it's very uncomfortable.
I think we probably had at least one Halo birthday each.
Yep.
Where the birthday was just inviting a bunch of dudes over and playing video games for massive amounts of time.
Some of our nerd cred there. Yeah, because that's some of the most fun times, spending hours upon hours just playing video games with your friends, and you have an excuse to do it because it's your birthday.
Yeah, you're 3 hours into like a 4-hour match that just won't end. And you're like, God, this is a good birthday.
As compared to, I'm 30, I saw a movie by myself and then had dinner with my family the next day.
Yay!
That was my 30th birthday.
30.
So do you have some of that you remember in particular?
I mean, I always say this. I had my birthday right in the middle of the summer, and so my birthday was often lame because nobody was around.
Oh, I would think it would be the opposite.
Everyone had family vacation. Everyone had vacations or were at camp or working a summer job. Like, just nobody was around during the summer.
I see.
So, we would typically, I think I did a couple sleepovers over the years where it was just like, oh, these 3 people are in town right now. Let's just do that. Went and saw movies, dyed my hair crazy colors a few times for my birthday. went and my mom took me to, when I turned 10, my mom took me to see a play because I had to go on a retreat with her in this lame retreat town.
She's listening.
She is. Chautauqua, New York. She knows. And there was like nothing for me to do. And so we went and saw this play called The Substance of Fire, which I'm not sure what mom, if she knew she was taking me to, but it's about this guy who wants to collect this postcard because Hitler illustrated it and his family is like dysfunctional and son is dying. And it was real dark. It was real dark. So we went and saw that for my birthday.
Nice depressing birthday.
Yes. No, just a little, nothing spectacular, but distinct would probably be the right word.
Yeah. I don't know. I think just spending time with friends is the best you could hope for, and
It's
video
true.
games. But see, video games aren't as communal as they were when we were kids, because nowadays there's barely the games that are as popular where you're all sitting together in one room playing. It's all like you have one player playing on one screen and you just play multiplayer online. We didn't have that when we were kids. There was no online play, really.
That's why Anna and I bought an N64 recently.
Very cool. Didn't know that.
We found it for $65 in a record store and we went, yes, we have to have this.
I still have a N64 controller right behind me with your initials on it.
Really? That's awesome.
Yes.
That is killer.
And one that says the douche as well.
The douche. Don't remember that one, but
for some reason there's a N64 controller that we put a piece of tape on and wrote the douche.
Maybe it was shitty or something.
I don't know. We had something to do with our childhood.
So those are our birthday traditions. I've found some birthday traditions from all around the world.
Really?
So let's listen to what these weird bastards do.
Go for it.
So in Canada, they grease people's nose, typically with oil or butter, and it's to ward off bad luck for the year.
Interesting.
In Germany, so this is pertaining to you, when a man turns 30, it's an old tradition for him to go to the steps of local city hall and sweep the stairs while his friends throw things at him. And he must continue to do this until he is able to kiss a woman walking by.
Like forcibly kiss her?
Here's the thing. If this is really a tradition, people know what it is. So I bet you that women feel like it's their part of the tradition. And
they'll have fun with it and kind of like go over there and joke with them. And
right. That's my money, is that's their fulfillment of that tradition. In Ireland, that they flip children upside down and bonk their head on the ground the number of times for years that they are.
Jesus.
And this is why the Irish just drink too much. This is why.
That's what happens.
In Mexico, they've got a birthday piñata, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Nice.
It's just a piñata, which is awesome. I would be okay with that. And here's something. In Vietnam, apparently people don't celebrate individual birthdays. They celebrate everyone's birthday on New Year's Day.
Huh. That's weird.
And they call it Tet, the Tet Day, and everyone progresses a year that day.
Huh.
No matter when in the year they were born.
Kind of ignore the actual birthday.
True, but think about how much simpler that makes forms. Think about how many times you have written your birthday on a form.
That's true.
And how many seconds that took, and then multiply that across your lifetime. They got to figure it out in Vietnam.
So I guess a lot of them will just be like, they don't even really know what day they were born.
They may know, but apparently it doesn't matter. They just need to know how many years old they are.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's some cool birthday stuff from around the world.
Very nice. I'm glad I live in America, though, because some of those are pretty weird.
America, fuck yeah. The only other new thing in my life besides the baby, besides that thing, the little, the baby.
Little small thing.
Is we finally got, Anna has been looking for this, so our listeners may remember from a long time ago, almost a year ago, that my cat broke my television. Broke my beautiful giant television that I didn't deserve to have. Apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And I have since gotten past it, and we got a new TV, but we were always worried about them tipping it over. So Anna's been looking for an armoire, like just something to hold the TV in, an entertainment center, basically. But to hold a TV that's like, 50 inches, 45 inches across, you have to get a giant armoire, but she found one. And this thing, it weighs probably 250 pounds, I would guess.
Oh, God.
It's insane. I felt so bad for the two guys that had to deliver it. But I have never been more sure of my television's safety.
The cats are not going to screw that up.
Even if they made a concerted effort, I could barely tip that thing over if I wanted to. So they can do whatever the hell they want. It's like an armored tank for my television, and I love it.
Can't they still get in behind the TV and shove it over?
No, it's got 2 doors on it.
Oh, gotcha.
With a latch.
That's intense.
Yeah. And the nice part is that the gap between the TV and this thing fits perfectly. Between the TV and the armoire is small enough that they couldn't even attempt to try to get past it. So it's perfect. And I'll never lose another television to those shitheads again.
Screw you, cats.
It's time for Nerdy News.
So Jarmon and I, when we were trying to come up with a theme for this week's episode, sort of settled on a general theme of weird science. So I love science stories, and I bring biology and generally nature-y kind of stories to the table pretty much every week when we do Nerd News, but I have a plethora of them stored up. Some of my favorites, and I'm excited to share them with you.
And I generally love a lot of space and that kind of thing because I love the idea of aliens. But as a side of that, I like just real science news from space. And so I got a lot of that collected from the interwebs. And there's lots of cool stuff going on out there. So we're going to share it with you.
Yeah, so I got some biology news, some human behavior news. I've got all sorts of stuff. It's going to be great.
An actual informative episode of A Play on Nerds. Can you believe it?
We've done this once or twice, maybe.
True.
So should we just launch into it? I've got one prepped.
Absolutely. Go for it.
All right. So they've studied DNA between salmon that are born in hatcheries and wild salmon. And the genetic differences are progressing at a rate that they could not have anticipated, to the point where they're now not sure if hatchery salmon are like really the same anymore.
Wait, recap that down for me again.
Okay. So hatchery salmon.
Hatchery salmon, what does that mean?
They're bred in captivity in hatcheries.
Gotcha.
For commercial use. They did genetic testing between that and wild salmon. And they found that the genetic differences between the hatchery salmon and the regular salmon are now much more extreme than they ever anticipated.
Well, I guess you put it in a hatchery, it's like evolution on super speed.
Right. That's what they're saying. They're saying because of the accelerated growth rate and the genuine, like, the overall good mating, blah, 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 that they're now different enough that they're not sure they're the same thing anymore.
And I guess that's why you all see on menus all the time, wild salmon, because it's going to taste different, probably.
So yeah, that's what we're putting in our bodies. People.
I mean, I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it too, but here's the thing. We as humans, we've got a long track record with salmon, as a species. We've been eating wild fish for a long time. We don't have a track record with eating weird salmon genetic shit. So we won't know if there's any real long-term repercussions until,
Or they give them weird drugs. They're just mating them real fast.
They're just mating them real fast.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
you
they might
kidding me?
Some of the incest and third eyes going on, but that's okay.
Yeah. Third eye just adds the flavor.
Yeah.
Third extra flavor. It's so good.
Little Jimmy's got 3 fins. It means more meat.
So yeah, we're breeding salmon that are genetically enough different from wild salmon that are not sure that they're the same species anymore. And that's nuts. That's basically what we did with corn and bananas and all that too. It's no different.
Yeah, exactly. It's just breeding it for our own food eating benefits. As long as we're not using chemicals and stuff, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So what about you? What you got?
Well, I do have one nature-ish story that I hope you don't already have.
I like that.
The rest of it's all space related for me, but
good.
I just happened to find this, and I think we read something similar to this in the past, but this is a new study with mice that shows the father's stress levels will directly affect the DNA it passes on to its offspring. So like at the time of your conception, if the father is really stressed, that usually means they have a high blood sugar at the time of conception. Then your kid will have different DNA and it will have higher levels of blood sugar their whole lives and have higher levels of stress their whole lives. So
wow, shit.
The idea is if you're trying to have a baby, try to be a little, hit cool about it. Maybe smoke a little ganja, relax. And then
that was my thing.
So I think
took my medicine.
Your kid's going to be all right.
But unfortunately, they're going to talk like Willie Nelson their whole life. That's the downside.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. I can't do Willie Nelson. I don't know.
It's true. We'll see if this gets awkward or not. But when Ann and I were trying over the last, however long, it was really when we both kind of stopped caring. Like we stopped making it a big deal that it happened. Like when we both finally relaxed, it was like, oh, okay, yeah, there we go.
That's like most things in life.
Yeah. Just had to let it happen.
Just let it happen. It's going to happen, baby.
And now it's definitely happening. Fun story. When we were on our way in to get the sonogram, I looked over at Anna. I said, what if there's 6 of them in there?
And she punched you in the face.
She didn't do that, but she was not amused, certainly, I would say. She was not, rapturous with joy over my remark.
That's pretty funny.
So, an aquarium in Seattle that I've been to, the Seattle Aquarium.
I think you took me to
that
that
was such a dumb way to say that, Steve.
Aquarium in Seattle, which I've been
Seattle
to.
Aquarium.
It's in Seattle. It's an aquarium.
So every year they try to set up these basically dates for octopuses while the octopuses are in the harbor.
Octopi?
Octopi?
I think it's octopi.
Octopo. So
great.
the octopo. So they've got this big fella, a 70-pound male. So huge, truly huge, that they were looking to mate, and they had to cancel the event because they couldn't find a bitch big enough for him. His name is Kong, and they basically said, we would have to find a giant female, like 60 or 65 pounds, because anything else he would have seen as food.
Oh, geez.
So they had to cancel the event, so that's excellent.
You can't find a big enough lady for him.
Yeah. Kong like that big lady. Get them skinny bitches out of there. I'll eat them bitches. What?
And aren't they finding more and more that octopi are just extremely intelligent?
Yeah, they've got crazy problem solving skills, like insane problem solving skills. And they have the closest things to as far as manipulation, their tentacles are the closest things to human hands in animal kingdom as far as versatility and ability to do things.
And some of the scariest videos are watching octopi.
Octopo? Is it octopo?
Watching them walk on land because they can do it for a little while, and it's really creepy looking. It's like Cthulhu coming after you.
Yeah, so they had to cancel that, and I'm sure all the kids would have loved to have seen that.
That's pretty funny. All right, so some planets may emerge from stellar duo that's gathering icy dust. Now, what this means is that they're able to view basically the breeding ground of planets, that this thing is happening right now. So it's basically 2 stars, or a binary star system, kind of like you'd see in Tatooine. You'd look off the distance and see 2 suns, Mm-hmm. They're basically pulling in all this dust and ice particles, and the dust and ice is all kind of coming together, which is actually what ends up making comets and also planets. So we've never really had an opportunity to see it this close before in a long time. So it's with our new technology. So it's pretty neat. And there's actually a picture of it, which I can post in the show notes, but just a big swirly color of gas and particles coming together. But every year we're seeing new technology that's letting us see stuff in a new way or confirming old theories.
Go further and see further. And
we really can't see that far yet. I wish we could see better.
So maybe by watching this planet form, we gain insight into how our own planet formed, and suddenly we know a secret of life. What the fuck?
And we can further prove people who believe the planet's 6,000 years old wrong.
But
not that we need to.
If those people, I'm going to refer to them as those people. If those people need more convincing at this point, there's nothing we can do for them.
Yeah, it's just they're going to live with their own brain.
There's nothing we can do for them if they refuse to read books.
It's true. Oh, I do want to make a little shout out here to someone I don't know, but I still hope feels better, which is someone who often debates those creationists, Richard Dawkins. He had a small stroke.
Ooh.
And it affected his left side a little bit, but apparently his speech is not that affected. He even sent out an audio message to his Facebook followers and such, and you can still understand him perfectly. But I don't know if you've seen any of his interviews and stuff. He's amazing atheist guy who typically debates creationists and church people in a very kind of antagonistic way. So some people don't like him because he's incredibly intelligent. He's a evolutionary biologist as well. So he's just really fun to watch. I'm glad he's okay. Hope he feels better. Sending thoughts out there his way.
Mr. Dawkins, that you're one of our science stories now, so get better.
Exactly.
So here's a fun one out of Australia. So as if Australia doesn't have enough things that can kill you now, apparently they used to have even more things that could kill you. They used to have a ancient marsupial, so a koala sort of thing, the size of a bear or tiger, that would use its insane climbing abilities to climb up in trees and ambush its prey from above.
Do they have a name for it?
There are two scientific names. Thylaceo carnifex, a tiger-sized relative to the koala.
Oh, it's a relative to the koala?
Yeah, marsupials. None of these things ever have fun names. So yeah, so the koala bear we all know and love used to have a much bigger thing that used to be a big land predator in Australia. And something that made them unique is that unlike most predators that have big, like us, we've got the giant canines and the chompers up front to tear and rip.
Mm-hmm.
Their main set of teeth was a secondary set towards the back where they would grip and then they would rip meat from the carcass and then eat that meat as opposed to ripping directly from the carcass.
Jeez.
So they were flesh specialists and they stripped meat from the bones.
Sounds gruesome.
Yeah.
What I'm picturing now, though, is like Shredder giving the mutagen that for the Ninja Turtles to a koala bear. And then,
dude, I think you just revealed the secret to the next film.
Giant koala monster. If you have Rocksteady Bebop, you can have like his name could be Gnarly or something.
Kickwalla.
Kickwalla.
So yeah, koalas, which are adorable, used to have a big brother that could kill you.
I wish there was like a picture of that. That'd be great.
They have like kind of a. It looks almost like a Pokemon. The picture they have. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'll have to post that in the show notes as well. So going off that story,
ooh,
I just listened to an episode of the Mysterious Universe podcast, which is one of my favorites. It's these two fun Australian guys who talk about paranormal and strange news stories and science stories as well and technology. And there's been a recent rash of sightings, and not even recent, it's been going on for a couple hundred years in Australia, of giant cats. And they're trying to explain it because there's several possible explanations. One could be that there are actually a few loosed animals from a zoo because there are no big cats in Australia natively.
Right.
Some of them saying maybe misrepresentations. It could actually be a different animal that they think look like a cat for a second. And one of them actually was, I don't even know if it's that same one you just talked about, but they said there's a possibility it could be one of these creatures that used to be there that maybe just didn't actually go extinct and it actually is still around. So it's another idea of a cryptid or a mysterious animal that we don't know if it's actually alive or dead.
I'm familiar with cryptozoology.
Just in case the listeners don't know. But yeah, so that's also big in England and Scotland. There's a big thing about big giant cats that are seen all the time. Some people call them alien cats or alien big cats. But there's no reason to think they're alien. It's just big cats. Who knows?
Right.
Oftentimes they're black.
I hope they're alien.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Like now that you say that, that's really what I want.
For some reason, aliens are throwing down cats at us.
They're just testing the waters. They're seeing what's going on.
Some scientists even think apparently that just the domestic cats, because they do have domestic cats in Australia, of course, have just gone wild. And for some kind of reason, their evolution over the past 200 years has multiplied so fast that they've evolved into bigger cats.
Wow.
But other people think it's unlikely that happened. But they haven't really gotten real good pictures of them or anything, so there's not a lot of proof yet. So people could be going crazy, but who knows?
Wow.
Big giant cats in Australia.
Crazy. So let's do some human stories now.
Nice.
I've got a few. So new studies are finding that humans mated with Neanderthals much sooner than they expected.
I saw that one.
And so what they found is they found this pinky bone and was able to extract DNA from it. And they found human DNA in a Neanderthal bone, but then they cross-referenced that DNA with human DNA and it's nowhere to be found. So this is definitively not a human with Neanderthal DNA. This was a Neanderthal with human DNA, and then that whole line of genetics died off at some point and isn't in the current human genome.
It's like an offshoot.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was 50,000 years ago that bone was from. That's how long we've just been doing anything we can get our hands on.
Somebody made a joke about it. They put a picture of like early man and then next to a Neanderthal woman. And they're like, they must have invented beer much earlier than we thought.
But yeah, like you're kind of the same. We're both hairy. We're both stinky. Let's get this shit on. That must have been the conversation at the time, but with more grunts.
Maybe. Or with just grunts.
Yeah. But no, not everybody that mated with Neanderthals ended up making it. So
there you go. Well, apparently the average is like 4% Neanderthal DNA now that we know what to look for. Most humans have 4%.
I've known some people that must be like 8 to 12.
Who knows? It's possible.
I've known some of those people. So a few about schooling here. So they're finding that school children, their parents are having them avoid all these foods, like basic foods, like peanuts and whey and all this stuff. And that, for the most part, it's bullshit. And their parents are just self-diagnosing the shit out of their kids.
Probably.
So what they found is, so in 7 to 8 year olds, the reports of food hypersensitivity, so from any food group, one way or the other, was 21% reported. And they could only back up, let's see, the reported allergy to basic foods was 8 times higher than the prevalence of allergy confirmed by allergy tests.
Oh, goodness.
So a ton of kids are apparently, what they're saying their parents are doing is they have a bad reaction to milk at 3. So they say no more milk. And then they have a bad reaction to wheat at 4. And so parents say no more wheat. And so they slowly remove things from the kids' diet until to a point where they're just this self-diagnosed mess. Even though, our ability to have certain foods changes throughout our lives. So they find that when the kids are older, they don't have any allergy at all, if they had any to begin with. Yeah,
like my niece, Alyssa, she would have anaphylactic shock when she had any kind of dairy product. So she really was allergic, but now she can drink milk out of the bottle. She's fine. It just, you grow out of it. So talk to a doctor. Don't just believe you know everything or you read something on the internet.
But yeah, for milk specifically, 15% of the kids said that they had, lactose intolerance. Essentially, only 3% of them did.
Oh, God. How do they get this misunderstandings? Like,
it's their parent. Here's the thing: it's not like kids are like, "Oh,
no." I mean, why do the parents think this?
Because parents are morons. Because a kid got sick a few times eating noodles, and now suddenly they're allergic to gluten.
Oh, God.
That's the dumb kind of shit. Parents don't go to the doctor; they just go, "Well, I know now. We know the kid can't have strawberries." Like they just, It's not like the kid went into anaphylactic shock. The kid got sick for a little bit once.
Yeah, I mean, you get sick from anything for any number of reasons, not allergies necessarily.
So that's how parents are destroying their children. Thanks, parents.
That along with anti-vaxxers.
God, let's not. Nope. So further in school, a little bit further along, 1,500 science teachers were polled for middle school and high school in a bunch of different fields, biology, chemistry, physics, and they found some startling things about how many teachers are teaching climate change. So 30% of all the teachers that responded reported that they told their students that warming is likely due to natural causes.
Oh, God. 30%?
30%.
Oh, no.
31% of teachers told their students that climate change is fueled by humans, but that there could be natural causes. So 31% are doing the either way. They're providing both sides.
Okay.
Right. So that means that only 29, this hurts. Only 39% of people teaching science to our kids completely believe and teach that the warming crisis is caused by man-made things.
Well, I mean, and also, of course, the Earth goes through climate cycles on its own, but you have to say, but look how much we're accelerating it because of our obvious and scientifically proven contributions. Like, you have to say that. Because slow change takes millions of years in climate, not 1,000 years like we've caused since the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah. So that's what we're teaching our kids.
Well, yeah, and of course the people who say dinosaurs are put there by Satan or something.
Well, that's because they're devils, but that's not the point. All right, another great human story, and this is one of my favorites.
Okay.
Because it's something that we've seen in movies and television and characterized everywhere for years. And that's when the white guy says something disparaging about another race and then tries to smooth it over by saying, no, but I got friends that are Asian. Or, no, I've got a friend that's black. And they found that actually works.
What do you mean it actually works?
That excuse actually makes it less terrible. Perceived as less terrible.
Like they took a poll or something?
By either you mentioning your friends or by being seen with those friends. Your racist comments are therefore shuffled off.
Did they take a poll to find that out? Is that what you're saying?
So they used Facebook.
Okay.
And here's what they did. They took, they made 2 fake Facebook profiles. And in one, they put just a white guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they put a bunch of things like, I hate Asians. There's too many Asians around. When did there get to be so many Asians in this town? And he was like denounced and people hated his profile. But then they took another profile and they put a white guy with pictures of a bunch of Asian guys like out and hanging out and put the exact same remarks. And everyone's like, well, it's okay because he's got a bunch of Asian friends.
Oh, so my best friends are Asian. It's okay.
Right. So that actually works. Apparently, that's what they think.
That's why it's tried and true, man. So my best friends are purple, so I can make fun all I want. Story I was excited about. I had to read more about it to be excited about it because everyone was excited about it, but I didn't know exactly why. It just sounded cool, which is the recent affirmation that Einstein's theory about gravitational waves was correct. I was like, that sounds cool.
I saw that.
But what does that mean? So I read an article on Science News, magazine of the Society for Science and the Public, and it's basically explaining what was meant by this. So the theory was that in another galaxy, billions of light years away, 2 black holes collided. This is a quote from the article, shaking the fabric of space-time. And so here on Earth, 2 giant detectors on opposite sides of the United States quivered as gravitational waves washed over them. After decades trying to directly detect the waves, the recently upgraded Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory,
sounds so sexy. Go on.
Now known as Advanced LIGO, appears to have succeeded, ushering in a new era of astronomy. So basically, when something so giant happens on a galactic scale, like 2 black holes colliding, it sends out ripples in space-time in the form of gravity waves. And we now have a way of measuring them. So if we get really good at it, basically what the article is saying, why this is important, is we can measure things from the Big Bang itself and learn more about the creation of our own universe and how it actually happened. We can measure the effect of supernovas and other black holes near and around us. There's a black hole at the center of our galaxy as well, so we can measure what's going on in the center of our galaxy. So it's pretty much, it'll leap us forward in our understanding of the universe on a universal scale, pun intended.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so it's pretty
I still don't understand fully, but it sounds neat.
Yeah, well, basically just seeing ripples in space-time and just saying that sounds cool.
Well, fuck. My whole life is wavy now.
Wavy.
So fun. Scientists found 2 new big-mouthed species of fish from the Cretaceous period. And I just want to take a moment. Now, this is not, they've discovered a new species. You know what I mean by like a big-mouthed.
Like a big-mouthed bass.
Right? Yeah. Where they literally just open their mouth and go,
sucking
and
food.
I just want to point out that these things are from a time that was so simple when the best strategy was literally opening your mouth real wide and swimming around.
That's why evolution was necessary, to make things more refined.
You look at, bird species where 3 different subspecies of the same bird share a tree, and each one has a different speciality within that tree, and they don't cross over. Everything's very specialized. And you look at these guys who are literally like, I'm just going to swim around, mouth open.
And that worked for them for a while.
And the bigger my mouth is, and that's the thing. Those species still exist. The megamouth shark and, whale shark are perfect examples that species just got it right. I'm just going to swim around with my mouth open. They figured it out so early that the rest of us had to do more.
On that note, just learning about these kind of things in general, I had a weird little internet science moment tonight. So I went with my family to the Cheesecake Factory, which I haven't been to in a long time. It was a nice little trip out. But as we're coming out with my aunt and uncle, my mother, my stepfather, we hear a bird. And my aunt and uncle are avid bird watchers because they live out in the country in Kentucky. So they see a lot of birds and they like to, write down ones they've seen and note what they sound like. And they said, is that a mockingbird? And it's singing at night? That's so strange. So they said, Jarmon, look up on your phone if mockingbirds sing at night. And so I'm passing by at this same time a teenager who's taking fish face selfies, and there's tying up the fish, with her camera and posting them on the internet. So that's one purpose of the internet, is so stupid, which is narcissistically taking pictures of yourself to post on the internet every 10 minutes. And then I'm over there looking up if mockingbirds sing at night. And I looked it up, and apparently mockingbirds do. They'll only the males do. After they find a mate, they will sing next to that mate to scare away any other males once they've found their mate. Even if it's late into the night, they don't care. They just keep singing, keep singing. And they're one of the few birds that do that. So it's just like the amazing things the internet can do. Like, we didn't have that when we were kids. And I learned something about nature and about birds. And meanwhile, this kid over here who's, just always had internet since they've grown up is just taking pictures of themselves and posting them all over the web. It's just I mean, I can tell you how that conversation would have gone 15 years ago. Is that a mockingbird? Mockingbird sing at night? Oh, shut up and get in the car. Let's go to the library and find out. I'm full of cheesecake and I want to get home to watch X-Files. And meanwhile, we could get in the car and look at our phone now and just the whole world. No, you shouldn't really while you're in the car. True. Driving. Well, I wasn't driving, so it was okay. Oh, good. Fun one. They found 5 new species of black tarantulas. Oh, right around Folsom Prison in California, where Johnny Cash did his famous performance, and they named one of them after Johnny Cash. That's very random. Aphanopelna Johnny Cashy. That's adorable. But it's crazy that, like, what struck me about this article is they said that they've identified these 5 new species, but that what they used to think was one species now encompasses 50 different subspecies. Jeez. So when they first looked at spiders in that area, they were like, oh yeah, they're all this one thing. And only now after looking, they're like, oh no, they're all different in some specific way. And that's just nuts to me. Like, how much have we done that over the course of human history? Like, oh, all these fish are the same. Oh shit, one of those fish isn't the same. Well, the differences are probably so small that it's like, who cares? Nerds and scientists. That's true. Who cares? Speaking of spiders, I also read something recently that there are like almost like 100 different species of insects and spiders in any house at any given point. Awesome. Like, even the cleanest of houses, newest of houses, well constructed, no matter what, has hundreds of species of bugs in it at any given time. So you're never alone. They're crawling through the walls. They're underneath you. They're above you all the time. They're in you. Probably in you. So I got one more nature story, and then I got some, like, not really science stories, but I think they're going to be fun anyway. Okay. So they found these tiny sea snails with shells and everything. So they find that most underwater animals use a paddle motion. And this one actually uses its tongue to fly like a bee. It has these little wings that make these figure 8s. Wait, underwater? And dive. Yeah. And they basically flap through the water. But it's the same motion that most insects have. And so what they think it's just a great example of convergent evolution. Where 2 completely different species and 2 completely different settings find the perfect response to nature, and it happens to be the same. It kind of reminds me like how like a seahorse looks so much like a horse, but it's underwater. I know it's a much more simplified. Not really the same at all. But I like the enthusiasm. Well, I appreciate it. I got a medal for participating. You'll get science someday, big guy. All right, so now I got two kind of fun stories that I would typically not include in nerd news, but they're just so good. Ron Howard, filmmaker, is looking at casting Robert Downey Jr. in an upcoming Pinocchio movie. Okay. How fun does that sound? As Pinocchio or as Geppetto? I don't know. Or both. I hope both. I hope he plays both characters. That would be interesting. But yeah, this script has been kicked around forever, and now Ron Howard's finally on it. And Ron Howard is the kind of guy who makes a movie even when it shouldn't be made, but he'll make it right. He usually makes it good, yeah. Yeah. Well, if you want a bit of movie news there, because of Deadpool, and we were talking about how they're spurring rated R movies, they've pretty much made it official now that Wolverine 3 will be a rated R film. Good. Thank the Lord. So that could make it actually decent and interesting. We'll see. It's a little more creative freedom to do what they want with it, not keep it in the confines of PG-13. So here, my final story of the evening, which I guess technically could be classified as a nature story. And when I saw this headline, I just had to grab it.
drunk knife-wielding monkey reportedly attacks bar patrons. So in Brazil, a monkey went into a bar and everyone thought it was real cute. And then it downed a big cup of rum, grabbed a kitchen knife, and started trying to stab people.
Is this in Brazil?
Yeah.
I wish they had video of this.
They called the firefighters. By the time the firefighters arrived, the monkey had made it to the roof of the building, still drunk and still wielding the knife, just on the roof of the building.
Oh my God. That sounds like a sketch comedy thing.
It's the best nature story I found. Let me put it that way.
Was it a puppy monkey baby?
Puggy monkey baby. Yes, exactly.
Trying to be topical here.
Puggy monkey baby. So yeah, that's the weird science episode.
Yeah, we had some interesting stuff there for you guys.
I pulled out anything that I thought would be a body to be pulled out of a flaming train wreck.
But we still have some trailer reviews for you folks.
Oh, do we have trailer reviews? Here at Play on Nerds, we have developed an interesting rating system to bring to you our ideas on the trailers we're about to review. At the low end of the scale, we have Burn It, where we think you should find every copy you can get your hands on and throw it into a barrel fire.
Kill it with fire. And our next step is Drunk Watch, which means that, yeah, I'd watch this movie. It'd be entertaining if I was under the influence of some kind of substance of some kind. But if I was sober, probably not going to check this thing out.
Nope, not going to see it. Next, we've got We'll See, which is maybe we just don't know enough about this movie to tell what the hell it's going to be.
Could be good, could be bad, not sure. And our next category would be Get the Couch Ready, which means I'm definitely going to check this movie out at home. Wouldn't necessarily pay the big bucks of seeing it in theaters, but I'm definitely going to watch it at home, so get that couch ready. After that, we have Take a Look, where we are recommending for you, our viewers and listeners, to check out this movie and check out the trailer and tell us what you think about it. We wanted to see what you guys think. It looks pretty good, but we're not quite sure yet. Yeah, take a look. Yeah. Let us know. And for our final and best category, we have Shut Up and Take My Money. Shut up and take my money. This looks so awesome, we're gonna see it. That's where we cannot wait to give Hollywood bigwigs all of the money that we have earned at work to go see a film for $47. We're so excited, we just have to go see it. We don't have a choice. And that is our A Play on Nerds official copyrighted trademark system for rating our movie trailers.
And they're kind of sciencey.
Yeah, we looked for sciencey kind of ones, and I think we did pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and do mine first because I think it's the one I'm least excited about out of the two.
Okay.
It's called Creative Control, and from what I can tell from the trailer, it looks like a movie about the next obsession with technology, whatever that is. And in this case, they're talking about a pair of glasses that give you a virtual reality interface where you can augment reality, and it basically appears to be the obsession that we have with our phones now will become even more dangerous when it's something with us, like literally in front of our face all the time. Like all the time.
Morning, David.
Hi, Jamie.
It's Becky.
Becky. I had a vision that we could enhance real life with a magical layer in front of it. So this is our approach. We give a pear to a genius. We see what comes back. We might have a new art form on our hands. What's going on with that model?
Holy, you live in a movie. I know, I do live in a movie. And it's great.
So how was your day at work?
Phalanx put me back in the pilot's chair.
How are we supposed to know that he's a pilot?
He's wearing a pilot's outfit and he's in a cockpit. It was really good.
Magic is what Augmented is.
Welcome, David.
Bye, babe.
Hi, sweetie.
Do you have a crush on Sophie?
Augmented reality.
It's not what you think.
It'd be weird when we all have chips in our brain.
It won't seem weird then. It'll seem inevitable.
What is this? Give me the password.
Nope. Who is that guy in the hall?
You have to promise not to get mad.
Oh, God.
Loving him is loving you. It's loving me because we're all one.
Are you high right now? I love you.
You don't even know me.
What's going on, guys? He's cheating on you with this model of love. Oh.
Shut up, man. You see how the mind is receiving consciousness rather than creating it?
I don't have time for this. Get out of here. Why are we even talking about this?
Give me a pound. Let's blow up this rock. Scott, you're the worst.
Hey, Davesies. The client wants
I'm not
to
here.
get some of the...
If you need to get a hold of me, hire a shaman or send me a psychic message. I'll get it. And I'll send one back to you.
I think it looks interesting. I think the concept for sort of the device that they're using looks neat. But the main character becomes obsessed with a woman and builds her virtually, and the lines between reality and virtual reality seem to blur. And I think it looks like interesting subject matter at least.
So 30-year-old Jarmon is a little more ornery, has a little less time to spare on things, doesn't want to take shit anymore. So this movie looks like hipster, artsy-fartsy bullshit to me.
Holy shit, this is a great new Jarmon. I'm excited for this.
All right, this is something like, look how cool we are. Look how disjointed and black and white this film can be. Look how neat this is. This is a completely disjointed trailer, made no sense to me. I give it a burn it.
Wow. I love it.
I'm old, I don't care anymore. I'm old.
Just because this has only happened once or twice in the history of Play on Nerds, I'm going to give this also a burn it.
Just to commiserate.
I think there are only 2 times ever that we've gotten a double burn it because you give them so rarely.
It's true.
That I just have to give this a burn it now just because I have the opportunity.
But there were so many beards and flannel shirts and hipster glasses and tight pants in this trailer. I just wanted to throw it away. I wanted to turn my screen off. I didn't want to watch the whole thing. So no. Burn it.
No. I say nay.
Good. We both agreed. Well, you decided to agree.
And why don't you go ahead and introduce the next trailer?
Next trailer, which I think we're both excited about, is Hardcore Henry. Hardcore Henry.
Hello, Henry. Do you remember how you got here? This next part might hurt. Squeeze. You and I were, and still are, husband and wife. I love you, Henry.
Henry, they want your technology.
How do you like the new you?
The chute! Pull the chute! Hold on, Henry! Henry, fight back! You're capable of more than you think!
It's alright, I'm here to help you. Is your speech module installed? But at least we know you're not deaf. Okay, well the good news is that you're gonna live a while. The bad news is there's an army standing between you and your wife. So let's go get her.
Woo! This is war, baby!
You gonna lay there?
Don't stop me.
Swallow that blood in your mouth? Or you gonna stand up and go spill theirs?
Yeah, this looks friggin' amazing.
It's basically the whole thing is actually the most, they said like 95% of the movie was filmed with a GoPro 3 something HD. So a guy wearing a GoPro on his head who throughout the whole trailer, you don't ever see him. You might see him in the movie, who knows? But he basically wakes up with not having any memory of who he is or where he is. But he has some memory of this woman that wakes him up. And she's attaching his leg and attaching his arms. Like he's all made out of basically metal now. So maybe he was in an accident. We don't know. But he knows that he has some attachment to her emotionally. And then they basically get attacked. And he's being attacked by these different people. He gets taken in, I think, by Tim Roth, the actor.
Yeah, that looked like it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's telling him, you're capable of a lot. And she's telling him the same thing, that he's capable of doing whatever he wants. So he becomes a fighter and he's fighting off people in these ridiculous fight scenes, jumping off of motorcycles onto cars. And it's all off this GoPro thing. So it looks like you're doing it like you're in a live action video game.
Yeah.
So I liked it. What do you think?
I think it's cool. I'm glad to see Sharlto Copley in something that isn't by Neil Blomkamp.
Agreed.
I'm excited to see him elsewhere. That being said, it looks like kind of that same, not say same character role, but a good character role for him to get into. My fear with this movie, it looks awesome. It looks spectacular. My fear is that it might as well just be called Motion Sickness, the film.
True,
if you were to go see that on like an IMAX 3D sort of thing, I could see people just vomiting everywhere.
I think, because I know actually one of our streamers, Ricky for Hostage Situation, he can't do first-person shooter games because he does get motion sickness. I don't get motion sickness playing first-person shooters. Most people don't. But the people who do will definitely get sick during this movie. You're right. I agree.
Yeah.
I also think that this is going to be kind of like the Blair Witch Project was for found footage films. Because now, if this does well, everyone's going to be like, oh, we need to make a first-person GoPro movie.
So you mean a movie we're going to regret sparked an entire thing? Is
exactly.
that what you mean?
Because like, oh, Blair Witch Project was really awesome.
The found footage genre in the 20 years we've had to put up with it. Thanks, UCF film students, you pieces of shit.
It wasn't their fault, and they got to benefit from it. But yeah, I think this might cause that same thing to happen because it looks really cool.
Now, mind you, if someone took that and made a real good video game movie, I'd be into that.
Yeah, better than what's that one, Gamer with
Gamer, and then also Doom, the movie.
Yeah, they both did that first person thing a little bit throughout.
A little bit, yeah.
So what do you give this one?
I'm going to give this one a take a look because I'm not sure I'll go see it in theaters for the aforementioned reasons, but it's something I would definitely love to watch on my TV at home.
All right,
and that I wouldn't want to miss even if I can't go see it in theaters.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a take a look because your reasons scare me as well. I might throw up if I see it in the theater. But we'll see. Yeah, I'll give it a take a look because it looks exciting to me. But you guys should take a look at it.
Well, thanks again, Internet, for joining us. It's been so lovely having you here for episode 55 of A Play on Nerds.
Yeah, just a recap of science news, some technology, a little bit of entertainment news. And we'll be back in 2 more weeks to give you another exciting episode. We have a lot of cool stuff going on. So until then, make sure you check out our website because we have a lot of blogs going up, a lot of reviews of shows of Supernatural, X-Files every week, as well as Walking Dead reviews every week as well.
So until next week, thanks again, Internet.
Stay nerdy, my friends.
If you'd like to find out more about us, you can always check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/aplayonnerds.
Or check us out on Twitter and Instagram at aplayonnerds.
We're also streaming live game content all the time on twitch.tv/aplayonnerds.
Fun videos and stuff to check out, youtube.com/playonnerds.
And also please subscribe to us on iTunes and leave a review if possible because that lets us be easily searched in the iTunes search index for podcasts.
And that way we know if we stink.
Exactly. Let us know if you hate us or you love us. That's always great.
Check us out at our website, www.aplayonnerds.com, where all this content can be found at the tip of your fingers.
And you can also always email us at anything@aplayonnerds.com.
And then check us out on, I guess, Snapchat, maybe.
For dick pics.
Or Tumblr.
Tumblr. Periscopes.
You could also throw a rock at us with a message on it.
Carrier pigeons.
We accept cassette tapes.
I love cassette tapes.
We just want to hear from you.
Yes, please send us anything you like at any social media outlets.
However you do it, check us out.
And how.
Oh, holy shit.
What's wrong? Everything okay?
Sorry. Yep. Everything's fine.
Oh, okay.
Da-da-da.
He said, holy shit. And I was like, oh.
Well, Anna just said she's going to pick up In and Out.
Oh.
So I stand by what I said. I don't back down from that.